We found it, Dan. The location of the person responsible for uploading episode 34 of Geats a week ahead of time.
Yes, let's keep checking that privilege.
Hello. This is John Toei, and I believe you leaked an episode ahead of time, and that property belongs to us.
Whoa, you trying to go for real, John?
Alien Cougar again? Yas, you don't see me leaking cosmic fury early. Aw, hell. You know what? You may be able to win a fist fight, but can you challenge the legal system? Lawyer up. Well, this is awkward. As usual, I wake up Sunday morning, I watch Geats, then start theory crafting, only to get told that next week's episode is already out. Someone done messed up. So, yeah, here's the deal. I'm going to talk about episode 33, what happens, give my rating, and then I'll jump right into episode 34. Though, because I don't know how Toei's crew be working, I won't show clips, maybe. Let's just see what I can get away with. Welcome to the new world, Buffa's world. And there's no Ace around. There's also no Kawa. The thing that really sucks about this show is that these consistent world resets end up undoing previous plot points. Ozma's Jambusi? Gone. Though, without their vision drivers, the purpose of the DGP is pretty much done right now. Luckily, Chirum's got the solution. More entertainment. Huh? Previous DGP contestants get their ID cores back, all for the sake of taking down Buffa. And Sumeri needs to go do her damn job, so off to distribute those ID cores she goes. John and Ben finally get to be relevant foreigners in the franchise of Kamen Rider, with Sumeri handing them back their old ID cores.
Not to burst your bubble there, Zio, but let me ease you in on things myself. With Neon getting her day busted with her own ID core, Buffa chimes on in. But that's when John and Ben show up to finally transform as the camera pans away.
But we see their suits, right?
Wrong! Because Buffa beats them out of suit one scene later and breaks their ID cores.
But this show, just like I said, it just resets. So they'll get their ID cores back, right?
You'd think that, but the show ends with a note that writers with their ID cores destroyed can never become writers again.
Well, look, I'm sure that this is just some sort of cost-saving measure and eventually we'll get them, right?
Oh, well, you see, what if I told you that 2 scenes after that, we see that Buffa is fighting a brand new dog-themed writer?
Is the helmet at least CG?
Oh, absolutely not. This guy's got a full-on suit. Zio? Zio?
Hello, this is John. The fuck, Toei?
Well then, I guess I'll give you all the sped-up recap. Neon gets her memories back, bonds with Cume somewhere after he tells her that she should just go to the future. Every player gets beaten up by Buffa, but this makes no sense since Nago has since awakened but was absent from that board. But, you know, the name of the show is called Kamen Rider Geats, and these guys just can't function without Ace. So Chirum tries to get the future folks to try to get back those vision drivers so he can get Ace and Kawa back. Kekira doesn't fight though, so he dips. But of course, Buffa shows up to deal some damage. Going on ahead to give Chirum back his vision driver just for the sake of beating his ass. Buffa's got the cheat codes though, since his wish makes it so riders can't do any damage whatsoever to him. So look, this fight, it's bland to watch. But it's Sumeri praying really hard. Hey, I can say Sumeri again. Oh yeah, that whole period's over. Sorry if you're just catching up. But either way, she prays so hard to Ace's ID core that it makes him revive yet again. Though, is Ace gonna fight Buffa? Absolutely not. He's got his sights on the DGP. All while Sueru watches.
Okay, I'm back. So, with this episode of Geats, we get the buffed out form of Buffa. So with that, let's talk forms. Why the fever buckle? Why the motherfucking fever buckle? And look, I mean, the horns are okay, the cape's fine, but this is just alright. Nothing really drastic, but it's better than the monstrosities we got with Revice. Rating time! So look, this episode was the calm before the storm episode. It's pretty bland, the fighting is just one-sided due to Buffa's hacks. I think everyone and their mom was upset about John and Ben and had salt poured over into those wounds, with Eitoku, Tycoon suit actor, getting a whole ass fit for his 3 seconds to death. Well, we now see why Lopo isn't in this competition. It's setups on setups, but also, Ozma is dumb as fuck. He wished for the power to defeat Kamen Riders as opposed to wishing for the destruction of the DGP. So he's taking the long road around, but yeah, look, I'm giving this shit a straight up F. Okay, alright, look. Man the alarms! Man the alarms! If y'all have not seen episode 34, this is your chance to jump out now. Unless you don't mind spoilers, because we going in. Also, I went through a rigorous routine of trying to translate this episode myself, because of course, subs are not available at the current time. So I'm gonna try and give you the full-on nitty-gritty when it comes to this episode. So, fair warning, but if you want to leave and come back later, I understand. Countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Ace is out to get revenge for his mom, even if Chiram thinks it's all worth it for the rating.
Production values are back because Glare 2 hits with the fins, but Geats gets that kick for that ass. Buffa, however, is not gonna let Ace steal that victory though, and does cheer him in himself.
So how did Ace come back? He doesn't know. But Sueru finally makes his presence known, taking both Ace and Ozma back, all while Kekera's human form takes the left behind Vision Driver. Sueru makes them aware that he is the executive producer of the show, thus creating a new matchup, i.e. cores and drivers to go around, as the game is now the last rider standing, the Desire Royale. The last one that remains gets their desire granted and shapes the world in whatever image they see fit. It's a revisit to the movie game, so here we go. Beto was all about seeing this new world of misery, but Kekera makes a drop-in on her with a proposal. He wants Keiwa back, and with his hands on the Vision Driver and her still having the other one, this should be possible. The payoff for her? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Sarah dreaming about Keiwa, but is welcomed by Frogman instead, letting her know that Keiwa can come back, but if she wants to know, she'll just have to look inside that box. But then the next morning, Keiwa's back. Though, what's up with that frog? Either way, Keiwa's back to his non-motivated ways and just an everyday guy. But of course, if he remembers, he's just gonna want to fight for world peace again. But Sarah doesn't want to suffer anymore when it comes to family loss. Now, with our actual leading lady, Neon shows Kyun that she got the invite as well. Which he's completely against, because there's no possible way that she'd be able to survive this fight. And for what reason? Because there is no true love for her in this world. But it turns out, that's not her wish anymore. She wants a world that has forgotten who Neon Kurama even is. That way, no one will notice, and there'll be no fans to disappoint. She's fine with being forgotten though, since she doesn't technically exist to begin with. We now join the reuniting of brother and sister, with Sumuri asking how Ace came back. Well, the thing is, he thinks it's the goddess's power, but he's not sure. But maybe it's Sumuri. But she doesn't have that ability. But she did make a wish. After all, the way the DGP has been going, she's been wondering if she's on the right side of things. So, with the Desire Royale, what's Ace's new wish? He's wishing for his mother's freedom and happiness. Sueru, on the other hand, is looking forward to see how messy this fight's gonna end up turning up. But of course, with him and the goddess of creation looking at it at the end. Though, I don't know, with Buffa's hacks enabled, it's kind of cheating, but whatever. But now, with everyone summoned, we get introduced to Desire contestant Sarah. Check another point in the I'm right camp. Meeting with Neon, she wonders why Sarah joined in, but it was all part of the deal set up with Kakera. Since Keiwa wasn't selected for the game this time, it's now Sarah's time to shine. Though, not if Daichi has anything to say about it. Though, Sarah thinks he's a friend, but that's not his game.
So, while Kikita cues up the TV for Keiwa, let's watch Sarah finally do a fusion of Keiwa and Neon's henshin pose. But not really knowing how to fight, Natch Sparrow makes easy work out of her, while beating the beat out of Nago. Clearly, this man's a true bitch for fighting two women like that.
Agreed. But still, where did that power creep come from?
Welcome to Kamen Rider Geats, where the power scaling makes no sense when there's plot involved.
So, as Keiwa watches Sarah get beat down, Kikita uses this opportunity to lure him back into the game.
We now return to Natch Sparrow abusing women, but here's good guy Keiwa to save the day, transforming and taking his fire hits? Is that new for Monstar?
Kikita and Beroba watch on, as this was the plan the whole time. Human growth tends to only happen when tragedy strikes close to home. So, having Sarah compete and lose will allow Keiwa to go further beyond.
I would say it's working with some fancy footwork all until Hacks McBullington shows up. Getting that friction burn, but not busting that tree, he gets in a massive edge over on them all. Daichi bitches out at strength he can't compete with, so Buffa decides to do them all in at once, but that's when Geats, Boost Mark 2, shows on up. See, what's the point of saving riders when the name of the game is be the last one standing? Either way, Boost Mark 2 can't touch Buffa, so away they go.
So, while they all gather, Neon asks Ace what he's after. A world without the DGP. However, Keiwa thinks that that's not enough. He can't forgive the goddess of creation for all the sins she's committed to have all those lives stolen. But Ace knows that she's innocent, and he'll prove it. Look, I feel for the translation teams when it comes to like subtitles, since there's no official subs available. Obviously, like I said, I put into work to try and give y'all as close to the literal translation of what actually happened this episode. So I put in the effort, so maybe spread the word?
Yeah, them subs are slacking, Zio. You'll never make it big time at this rate.
Shut up! Rating time! This was another stuffed episode, showing the deceit that Kekiro was willing to go through for the sake of his own entertainment. There's some other mysteries at hand with this in general, but I like that there are twists that even I didn't see coming. And because of that, this episode is getting the Shinobi S! Oh, come on! So with the Desire Royale being so writer-centric, it kinda eliminates the needs for Jamatos to even be a thing, right? Sueru clearly has full control over a lot of things. Even without a vision driver, he was able to make the next batch of writers and change the game. Thus, he probably has control over the Jamato and just the whole things himself. He probably is what's inside of those vision drivers, hence the voice actor, but you know, another thing. The thing is, I feel this is how Archimetal gets some sort of relevance. Since Buffa is currently hacked to the brim of being untouchable, the stipulations only fall when writers are involved. As such, Archimetal and the Jamatos in general would be the only thing capable of taking Buffa down. So this is a really interesting plot device to get into. Another thing that I find interesting is that Sueru seems to have no physical form outside of the DGP housing. He seems to be some sort of ethereal being. It makes me wonder if this is an allusion to his actual physical form, or that he himself cannot exist outside of his pocket dimension. The world of the DGP itself could just be him overall, with others just being pulled into his payroll. There's a couple of things here though. Previously, Sueru acknowledged Sumeri awakening, and the goddess of creation goes through a cycle of destruction and rebirth. But this episode, he talks to the goddess, in which the two of them will bear witness to the fighting till the end. Are they implying what I think they're implying? Where not just the goddess of creation can be replaced with Sumiri, but could Ace be the replacement for Sueru at the end? Since this show likes taking naming conventions as symbolism, Ace's last name would imply a floating world. If we look at Sueru's depiction when he appears in the human world, he's floating. Not only that, but he also has the capability of shaping the world. I fucking swear, if Sueru is indeed just a future incarnation of Ace. The real standout here is honestly Kekera, teaming up with Beroba, all for the sake of Keiwa. But this man is really becoming the worst kind of fan. He's starting to pull the strings to get Keiwa to finally succeed, and he's doing it in a pretty shitty way. But if his misery could lead to his growth, then of course, Beroba's all about it. What I think this is setting up is making Keiwa the next villain of the show, or at least very heightened rival for Ace. It would be ironic to have the guy who wishes for world peace to take it to the extremes of having to stop Ace from saving his mother. All in order to just keep the status quo. And if Sarah's involvement was really just to be used as a crutch to get him to that point, I don't think that there's a means for him to come back from that. If they manage to kill off Sarah and that's how he gets his upgrade, they're going full on trope territory on that aspect. But yeah, there's really a lot to unpack when it comes to this, and I'll probably touch upon it when it comes to Friday's live streams. But episode 34 is vastly superior to what we got in episode 33. But I hate that they keep having these bad setup episodes followed by a greatly executed episode. So yeah, what did you think about all this Geats action this week? Sarah joining the DGP, Keiwa having it out for Ace, Kekera being a completely sly mofo, and Sumiri having powers. Maybe. Anyway, that's it for me. Someone stop those leaks for the next Geats, and I will see you all next time. Until then, bye.